So if you're someone who's been on the fence about Battlefield 6 since day one, and well, the free-to-play Battle Royale mode hasn't really been the tester you've been looking for, I have amazing news for you. Right now, running all the way through to December 2nd, a portion of Battlefield 6's premium content is now free to play for everyone to try. All you need to do is download the RedSec client, and there will be a select few modes available for you to jump in from there. Which, hey, ain't exactly a bad deal if in fact you're looking for a new opportunity to try before you buy. This also serves as a bit of an opportunity to go over a couple of the happenings in the Battlefield news mill as of late as well, so we might go into a cheeky tangent or two in this video too. Anyways, pertaining to the free-to-play period for the game here, long and short of it is that anyone participating in the free trial will be able to play Conquest, Escalation, Breakthrough, Team Deathmatch, Sabotage, and Initiation Breakthrough on 3 maps in the game, being Eastwood, Siege of Cairo, and Blackwell Fields. And yeah, look, I'm gonna be the first to admit here that the decision to include Blackwell Fields of all maps in the roster was what I would like to call an interesting move from DICE and EA. Look, it's free, I get that, but I think we can all agree that Blackwell Fields is confidently the worst map in the game right now, and is far from what you would want to use as a first impression to potential new players who might potentially buy the game for a free-to-play week. Like, surely Mirak, Liberation Peak, Firestorm, or even Sobek City would have been a bit of a better pick than bloody Blackwell Fields. Right, okay, look, Sobek might have been a bit of a stretch, I admit. But anyways, despite that, it is great to see that the game is offering players an opportunity to come in, get a feel for it, and work out if they want to dip in with that $70 to $100 price tag ahead of a purchase. It's not something you tend to see a lot of AAA game devs do after they launch a game within the first couple of months here, so again, I actually view this as a really good move from DICE and EA here to potentially expand the market audience for Battlefield 6. I know that some of you in the community as well may have purchased the game and then gotten a refund on it due to a couple of issues that were present at launch, which means that you can sort of also come back to the game now for free of charge as well. Check out some of the new content to see if it addresses your content-related concerns from the game's launch, and also check out some of, the back-end updates and the core balance changes that have been made to see if they address some of your big concerns there too. And separate to all that, folks, even if you are, content with the RedSec side of the game that is already free to play and that is what you envisage to be your main Battlefield 6 experience, the core game modes such as Escalation and Breakthrough are actually a great opportunity to really farm up some weapon attachments and weapon unlocks as well. So definitely worth tapping into that to unlock some of the hardware that is a bit harder to get in things like Gauntlet and Battle Royale. Long and short of it, if you're keen to give the game a go without any commitment, now is the time. And in all honesty, it's probably good timing on DICE's and EA's behalf to do this now, because we're ahead of the holiday period only just, and we're now in a bit of a, dare I say, holding pattern for Battlefield 6, at least for the remainder of 2025 in my opinion. I think now the lion's share of Season 1 content is practically out and in our hot little hands. We've still got the Winter Offensive chapter of Season 1 dropping on December 8th, but realistically speaking, the only new content coming out that we are aware of so far in that update is the Winterized Empire State map and the new Ice Pick melee weapon, which isn't really a material gameplay addition. It's nothing like a brand new map or brand new weapons. They're just sort of reskins of existing content in my view. I know DICE was sort of alluding to the potential of some surprises coming along the way, but we don't really have any visibility of that so far, and I'm not expecting anything really massive for the majority of the season. The real focus now appears to be wrapping up the year with the RedSec Elite series and getting that competitive line of effort for Battlefield established, squaring away some additional non-content related updates like balance passes and stuff like that, and then looking ahead to Season 2 and beyond. Which does in fact lead me on, ladies and gentlemen, to an interesting little post that our good friend and well-known Battlefield leaker extraordinaire by the name of Temporal shared a couple of days ago over on Twitter. Temporal was able to find a bunch of updated references to unreleased Battlefield 6 weapons, gadgets, and vehicles for Seasons 2 and 3. Now obviously, I can't show you guys this off directly here on the video, but here is the interesting stuff that I can speak to in reference at the very least. Temporal was able to find reference to 4 new weapons, including the MG5 LMG, the Bren 2 assault rifle, the Scorpion Evo 3 PW, and the Scorpion VZ61 machine pistol, which represents a pretty neat little injection of weapons across a number of categories in the game, but it also represents the game's first full auto pistol. I think I, like many others in the community, were kind of hoping that the GH22 M22 or the Glock was going to be a full auto pistol, but it just ended up being a bit of a side piece to the default pistol you unlock at the start of the game here. So it's cool to see that we're getting some more sidearm variety in the game here potentially. 4 new gadgets were also data mined, including the sick G1 grenade airburst launcher, the GL40 sticky grenade launcher, the M320A1AT anti-vehicle grenade launcher, and the RGO impact grenade. And I mean, look, I'll be honest, we always knew that DICE has had some freaky addiction to grenades and just general explosives in Battlefield games, but I'll be real, reading this gadget list has me a little bit concerned here. There's already a lot of, explosive weaponry in Battlefield 6 as it stands. This might be a little too much in my opinion. We saw how nutty sticky grenades and airburst grenades could be in Battlefield 2042 in particular, and impact grenades more broadly can just be absolute menaces given that you get no warning whatsoever to their presence. So yeah, not entirely sure how I feel about that. The anti-vehicle grenade launcher, however, that I'm excited to see. I think that's going to be a very healthy injection to the game, and if the assault class gets that in particular, that'll be a very, very cool little addition. Temporal also managed to find references to the AH-6 Little Bird scout helicopter and the jet ski as a naval vehicle. Now on the vehicles, there's a bit more to unpack here. The Little Bird, it's going to have access to miniguns, GAU-19s, and the LR-30 primary weapons, the APKWS, Hellfire missiles, Hydra 70 rockets, and Stinger secondary weapons. I'm not familiar with what the APKWS is, but the rest sound like, pretty run-of-the-mill additions for a Little Bird attack helicopter in Battlefield games. Further to that, the pilot abilities currently include flares, motion sensors, and thermal smoke, with the passenger seat getting access to thermal scanners and directional jammers too. So it's quite the kit available to the Little Bird in Battlefield 6 if this list is anything to go by and is representative of what is actually coming to the game. And given I was somebody who put a lot of time and a lot of hours practicing the Little Bird gameplay in Battlefield 2042 ahead of Battlefield 6's release, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this vehicle come to the game. I think the absence of a Little Bird in a Battlefield game has certainly been one of the more glaring vehicle content related issues with Battlefield 6 since its launch, and this is obviously being fixed, I'm hoping, sooner rather than later if this temporal leak is anything to go by. I'm also just really hoping that as a result of that though, we do see some serious balance work come to the vehicle side of the game more broadly though, because I fear that the Little Bird in the current vehicle ecosystem of Battlefield is just going to be an absolute RPG magnet that just ends up being a bit of a, XP pinata for budding engineer players. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. The fact that there's also an updated mention to jet skis as well being in the game files also suggests to me that we may be getting a season that's a bit more dedicated to naval combat in the near future as well, which I'll be honest, I know the Battlefield community's been really wanting, and quite frankly, I'd love to see the return of some naval maps as well. I'm really hoping that it's not just a jet ski and that we see things like Amtraks, amphibious IFVs, and attack boats getting added to really give us the full naval warfare experience in Battlefield 6. Again, something I know that the community has been really calling out for since the release of the game. I know that some skeptics out there will also look at the jet ski and just will think, well, it's clearly going to be for the water areas of the Battle Royale map. There's no point in reading too much into it. But if I'm being honest here, the Battle Royale map's water area is far from being a main part of the game's map flow anyway. So much so to the point where if the jet ski was just being added to the game for that purpose, it would be one of the biggest bait and switches in the history of the franchise, let me tell you. And the fact that we've also got DICE going on the record stating that they're aware that, the community wants naval warfare experiences in Battlefield 6 tells me that they might be working on it, and the jet ski is a bit of a hint into that occurring. So yeah, there's obviously some exciting things potentially on the horizon here, guys. It goes without saying that these are leaks, and therefore everything must be taken with the biggest grain of salt known to man. But if it is an indication of what's coming, then I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to see it come to the game in the new year. I think in closing out the year, the one thing that I am really looking forward to with Battlefield 6 in particular is seeing that first vehicle balance pass come to light. I think that right now, the longer that the game has come out and the longer that people have been able to sort of get used to the game and how it currently plays, the vehicle side of the game has gotten to a point where, in some cases, in many cases, it's simply unplayable. Vehicle gameplay in a lot of instances in Battlefield 6 now has just evolved into any form of attack ground vehicle, home base camping under the cover of the base AA that deletes all projectiles going for them, RPG velocities just sniping aircraft, and just the general vehicle game kind of lacking any kind of skill gap at the moment that we would have expected out of a Battlefield game. You've also got tanks now just sniping you with tow missiles all the time as well, which, if I'm being honest, has taken all of the magic of ground vehicles sniping aircraft or even just performing long-range snipes on vehicles and infantry out of the game. There's no skill gap there anymore. You point, you click, you guide your missile in, and then it's dead. Whereas back in the day, you actually had to aim your tank cannon. You had to compensate for drop. You had to try and, calculate where the aircraft or where the target was going to be after it had moved over range. Whereas now that's just not the case. Every single vehicle in the game has an overly reliable tow missile that is just stupidly quick and nimble and accurate to the point where everyone just sits back at base sniping away and getting away with it, which has really killed the vehicle gameplay in a lot of instances. I was watching my boy Silk try and fly in a jet on his stream a couple of days ago, and it was hard to watch, man. He's one of the best jet pilots in the game, if not the best jet pilot in the game, and he's struggling to make it work because, well, the vehicle balance and just the general game design for vehicle balance is a little bit haphazardly put together at the moment. So yeah, a lot is riding on this patch being good, and a lot is riding on it fixing the vehicle gameplay and the vehicle balance in particular right now, because the Christmas break's coming up. DICE will be going away, I'm sure, for their well-earned Christmas holiday, and if things aren't fixed before then, it's likely that we'll have to experience them over the holiday break as well. And as somebody who does kind of want to get back into the vehicle game at the moment, but can't really because of how it's balanced and how it's performing right now, that would be a damn shame if things aren't addressed before that Christmas break and before everyone takes their holiday period. So yeah, time will tell on that one, but I do hope that the upcoming December patch that is going to address some early day vehicle concerns is actually quite impactful and has some pretty solid ramifications on the vehicle gameplay for the better. Anyway, folks, that just about does it for everything I wanted to have a bit of a chinwag about in this video. More weapon reviews are coming, more guides are coming, a whole lot of content is on the way very, very shortly. So if you guys enjoyed the video and you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also do me a favor and hit all of the, algorithm praising buttons down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, guys. It does go a long way to helping out the channel. But until next time, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, have a good one, and keep vibing in Battlefield 6. See you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.